A pleasant day to all of us, to the listeners, and to our subject teacher, Sir Jared De Leon Taay. Good day, and we are hoping that you are in a good condition. We are about to explain the designated topic that is assigned to us, so please be attentive and enjoy listening. God bless.
The topic that we are going to discuss today is all about the Philippine Mining Law. Before we move on to our topic, let's talk about law. What is law? When we say law, it is the act or regulation that provides and regulates a behavior or rights of protection.
Philippine Mining Law is comprises of an act instituting a new system of mineral resources, exploration, development, utilization, and conservation. It is covered by Philippine Mining Act of 1995, or better known as Republic Act No. 7942, signed by former President Fidel Ramos during his term as the 12th President of the country back then. The law is stating the protection, development, and research of the country's mineral resources, where it is known as the fifth the world's mineral-rich country in the world for gold, nickel, copper, and chromite. It is home to the largest copper-gold deposit in the world.
This act is argued that outsourcing mining would increase foreign investment, create jobs, and be worth up to $840 billion, but later on, it soon overruled this decision and sided strongly on behalf of the pro-mining government, supporting economic growth over ethical and environmental matters.
The importance of this law is to provide and sustain the industrial factor of our country, especially the economic growth, providing a better life for the whole nation. It helps to protect and regulates the mining industry here in the Philippines.
The other sources of law affecting the mining industry here in our country: the Republic Act No. 6969, which is the Toxic Substance and Hazardous and Nuclear Wastes Control Act, and the other one is the Republic Act No. 8749, which is the Clean Air Act. There are also few more movements other than those two laws that were said, but those two examples of law are the laws that affect the mining industry in our country.
To sum up everything that has been stated, the mining industry really plays a vital role in the country's economic development. Mining likewise contribute to the country's foreign exchange earning through exports. Furthermore, the industry provide additional revenues for the government through taxes and fees paid on mining and other related activities.
Next, our topic is all about Chapter 2, Government Management, Section 4, Ownership of Mineral Resources. Mineral resources are owned by the state, and exploration, development, utilization, and processing thereof shall be under its full control and supervision. The state may directly undertake such activities, or it may enter into mineral agreements with contractors. The state shall recognize and protect the rights of the indigenous cultural communities to their ancestral lands as provided for by the Constitution.
Ownership of mineral resources. Mineral resources are owned by the state, and the exploration, development, utilization, and processing thereof shall be under its full control and supervision.
So, as stated in Chapter 2 of the Government Management, Section 4, this actively illustrates that the minerals and resources are owned by the state or the country. It protects its diversity, and also it provides the safety to avoid extinction.
Our next topic is all about Chapter 3, Scope of Application, Section 16, Opening of Ancestral Lands for Mining Operations. No ancestral land shall be opened for mining operations without the prior consent of the indigenous cultural community concerned.
First, let's talk on what is ancestral lands. Ancestral lands refers to all lands exclusively and actually possessed, occupied, or utilized by indigenous cultural communities by themselves or through their ancestors in accordance with their customs and traditions since time immemorial, and thus may be defined and delineated by law.
It states that no land must be opened or published for the mining work as long as it does not have the permission or permit to operate from the natives occupying the area to which it belongs. There is no proper way to open these lands until any consent is sought from the authorities and the cultural communities concerned.
The reason behind occurrence is that because of this law, we can say that these lands plays an important role in our indigenous people in their culture and way of life. It comes from their ancestral tradition from that time onwards passed down to the present year. This law covers protection of their land, so permission is really needed if you want to conduct mining in their area.
Furthermore, indigenous cultural communities or ICCs and indigenous peoples or IPs are given priority rights in the harvesting, extraction, development, or exploitation of natural resources within their ancestral domains. No ancestral land shall be open for mining operations without the FPIC of the ICCs and IPs concerned.
Our last topic is all about Chapter 8, Quarry Resources, Section 43, Quarry Permit.
It states that a person needs to apply for a quarrying permit if he or she wants to build an establishment, or before he builds an establishment, he needs to apply for a quarrying permit first before using mineral materials such as marble, basalt, clay for ceramic tiles, and building bricks. There are many other minerals that are preserved, so it is necessary to apply for a permit to prevent abuse and avoid misuse.
What do you mean by quarry permit? A quarry permit is a document granted to a qualified person for the extraction and utilization of quarry resources on public or private land. Any qualified person may apply to the provincial or mining regulatory board for a quarry permit on privately owned land and public land for building and construction material such as mineral.
Here is an example of an application form of a quarry permit. In order to fill up the form, you must be at your legal age because, if not, your request will be declined.
Maximum area which a qualified person may hold at any one time shall be 5 hectares, provided that in large-scale quarry operations involving cement raw materials, marble, granite, sand and gravel, and construction aggregates, a qualified person and the government may enter into a mineral agreement as defined herein. It means that there is only 5 hectares applicable for a person to hold at a time. These 5 hectares will serve as the person's ownership of land, and it should not exceed the given number.
Thank you for attentive listening and watching. This has been Group 2. God bless and always keep safe.